think that is much better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anyway, I will try to make it whatsoever is possible.
So I thank the speaker for accepting the invitation.
1 minute, sir.
I thank the speaker, Neeraj sir, for accepting the invitation. Dear staff and students, today in the FDP, we are having a very highly eminent and experienced teacher, Neeraj sir. He is from SAGE, from the MP state, and he will enlighten us on the topic of this technology transfer. So on this auspicious occasion, I thank the speaker and I request him to initiate his talk. Thank you, sir.
Power off. Power on.
Bluetooth mode.
Power on. Hey, what are you? What are you? What are you? Very good afternoon, all. So I welcome you all for day 4 of this national webinar. So now I request our HOD of Department of Quality Assurance, Dr. Sunil Kumar, to introduce our today's speaker for the audience. Over to you, Sunil, sir. Over to you, Sunil, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Sunil Kumar, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Pharmaceutical Quality Assurance. Today, I'm very happy to invite Dr. Neeraj Upamanyu for this FDP program. And I would like to introduce Dr. Neeraj Upamanyu for today's audience. Dr. Neeraj Upamanyu is a professor and pro-vice chancellor of the Sanjeev Agarwal Global Educational University in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. And Sir has pursued his B Pharmacy from RGPV Bhopal and M.Pharm in Medicine and Pharmaceutical Chemistry from Gaur Sagar University from Sagar, and PhD in Pharmaceutical Science from H.S. Gauri University, Sagar. And regarding Star's experience, he is presently working as Professor and Pro-Vice Chancellor of SAGE University in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. And He worked as a registrar in Naipar Hazipur from October 21 to March 22. And he worked as a professor and head of institute and dean in School of Pharmacy and Research and People's University, Bhopal. And Sir worked as the officiating vice chancellor in People's University from December 17 to August 2018. Regarding Sir's academic publications, so Sir has secured around 1,032 total citations with a H-index of 18 and an intact factor of 103.35. Sir has published around 62 publications in international journals, 33 in national, and 7 books in various reputed publishers like Elsevier and others. And Sir, for his credit, Sir has got one granted publication, 5 published, and 1 filed patent publication. And he delivered seminars in various faculty development programs of AACT, ICMR, and UGC. Sir has guided around 8 awarded PhDs and 30 M.Com students. To his credit, Sir has received various honors and awards from various government and non-governmental bodies. For a few, Sir has received appreciation from various publishers, such as Neeraj and various publishers. He is a member of various editorial boards and is a referee for various journals, various prestigious journals. And Sir is a member of various professional organizations such as APTA, Nova Trail Drug Discovery Network, ACPI, IAHPA, Chromatographic Society of India, IPA, Association of Registered Pharmacists, Laboratory Animal Scientists Association, Indian Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, and member Commonwealth Pharmacist Association, and life member of the Indian Society for Technical Education. So with this brief introduction, I would like to hand over the session back to Bapiraju.
Sir, thanks for that introduction of our today's chief guest. So now I request our speaker of today's, Neeraj sir, start his presentation. Over to you, Neeraj sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm sharing my slides, so I hope it will be visible to you. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, first of all, my greetings and thank you for inviting me. My special and sincere thanks to Natarajan sir, who has provided me principal of this Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the management and all the staff members for providing me this opportunity to talk in front of you. And I welcome on my behalf to all the participants and my fellow colleagues on this 1 week online international FDP on recent trends in pharmaceutical innovation research. I think this is the third day of this FDP, and a lot of good speakers like Dr. V. Gopal sir and some other have interacted with you. And I congratulate again Vishnu College of Pharmacy, Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy for this wonderful initiative. And the topic which has been given to me for this FDP, what I thought is because you were talking about the pharmaceutical research and innovation. So one of the important perspective while we are talking about research and innovation and the development of research, so I thought that why don't we discuss something about technology transfer? And this technology transfer is related to pharmaceutical industry and academic perspective, because 5 years before we were talking this technology transfer only restricting to pharmaceutical industry. But when we are in the era of a great transformation and changes which is occurring for the last few years in pharmaceutical education, and not only in pharmaceutical education, across all education, because as we know, this national education policy has been implemented. So there are a lot of changes in the education. Already the COVID-19 pandemic has brought a lot of changes from offline teaching to some of the perspective of online teaching. So a lot of changes is occurring around this higher education system. So in this context, if you really see and if you can understand the challenges which has come to us, because now once this national education policy will be implemented across all the disciplines. Right now it is yet to be implemented in pharmaceutical education and some of the disciplines where this regulatory bodies driving the force. So once this will be implemented, the whole concept will be that the institute has to work on their autonomy, institute has to work on their self sustainability as far as financial things are concerned. So, and another important aspect is that national education policy has given this drive into different parts, like institute can make their identification as a research intensive institute or university. So if you are looking forward, or if you are see from that perspective, this particular topic is very important. Another important thing from my perspective, or from my personal opinion, the technology transfer is going to play an important role. Why? Because already if you see the structure of different universities institution in Europe and some other European countries, you can see that they are generating their own revenues, own funds. So if you will not generate your own funds, then it will be very difficult to survive of a institution or a university if you are not having any financial support from any government agency or grants. And day by day we can feel also, and we can see very abruptly that these are the things which are shrinking a lot. So self sustainability again is a big thing which we all are working. Let me also tell you, this topic I was very very interesting while interacting physically, while talking with each other. But anyway, I will try to justify and sensitize and interact with all you people that why we are thinking of this technology transfer. uh, Another important thing what I think is this in this technology transfer is the first question and foremost question which comes in this technology transfer is why this is important, why we are thinking from that perspective. So there are two things which are very important while you are thinking about technology transfer and all. My personal opinion about this technology transfer, there are two purposes which we are trying to resolve through this technology transfer. One is, if you will think on this line of technology transfer, you will be able to provide some important contribution from your side. Because if you will not think on this perspective, on this technology transfer perspective or the product development perspective, where this technology will come. So that is a very important thing. Second important thing is, if the technology will not be there, who is going to solve our day-to-day problems? very simple thing is we want a good recognition in our respective fields, whether it is pharmaceutical field or any other field. And this is one of the great medium through which you can contribute to your society, as well as you can really make your recognition in a better way. Suppose I am discovering penicillin. So not only I am discovering a new product, which is penicillin, but I am getting my recognition also. The day has gone, but still we remember who has discovered the penicillin. So the person who has discovered this penicillin is still in this year of 2023. We are still remembering him. We are still remembering Marie Curie. We are still remembering the persons who have developed and provided this technology transfer or the product. So this is one of the great medium, to get your recognition as well as contribute to the society. I understand you are getting a good amount of revenue also from that, but at the same time, you are getting all both these important things also, your recognition as well as your contribution to the society. So what I think is this technology transfer is very important from that perspective. I tell you a very simple, very interesting story or interesting event which many of us don't know. We all have heard artemisinin. Artemisinin has come in India, 30, 40 years back, 25 years back. But there is an interesting story that how this artemisinin has brought to the India. It was no technology transfer, but one of the important person eagerness to provide something to the society brought this event of artemisinin, development of artemisinin to India. This artemisinin was, previously developed by China only. So we were struggling in our country, and we were trying to find out the way. So a delegation was sent to the this China, that you try to find out the techniques that how we can develop this artemisinin in our Indian country also. And one of the scientists who was getting this training, he brought some seeds in his nails, and after understanding the technique, he developed this artemisinin in India. You will not like the way that artemisinin has come into India, but that was his passion and country. He wants to contribute something to his nation, so he adopted that way. So this is how the artemisinin was developed. The scientist was from NBRI, and he developed this thing. But it was really appreciable how he thought of his nation. So this technology transfer is very important, not only from the perspective that we are thinking that nowadays we are going through a lot of accreditations also, whether it is NBA or NAC. So they are also asking how many patents you have published. But most 90% of the people, this is my personal opinion, 90% of the people are thinking from that perspective only. But we have to go beyond that, because if you attempt 50 products or 50 patents, maybe two or three can be very useful, and that will be converted into the technology transfer, and you can be one of the important contributor of the society of your nation also. So that is how I think this technology transfer is very important. And moreover, as far as our academic fraternity is concerned, we focus only up to the patent publication or patent grant, but don't beyond that. So this particular session, I will try to sensitize all you people on this need and process of technology transfer, scenario of technology transfer, 6P concept in the technology transfer, role of technology transfer in academia, and I will try to cover some of the methods of technology transfer during this particular session. So if we really try to understand and define this particular, definition of technology transfer. So technology transfer you can define in different ways, as you can see in this slide also. A process by which a developer of technology make its technology available or to a commercial partner that will exploit the technology. Or you can say technology transfer is a win-win situation for both developer and absorber of the technology. Whosoever is taking the technology and whosoever is providing the technology, both are in the win-win situation. Because who is giving the technology is also the beneficiary, and the person who is getting the technology, both are in the benefit. So basically, this transfer process emphasizes the value and protection of intellectual product of the researcher, both integral and critical to the drug discovery and development. So this is how, in an easy manner, we define the technology transfer. It is a process through which whatever you are developing or whatever you have developed, you are transferring that on a large scale. Whatever you have prepared in a small scale or small platform, but now through this technology transfer, after optimizing the things, you are trying to transfer your technology, and once it will be established, your product will be commercialized and it will be on the pilot plant scale. So technology transfer is a process. It has several stages, phases, and typical behaviors. It operates and can be understood at different labels like technology policy, individual scientist. And this technology transfer process involves different stakeholders' perspective, like the developer and user. And the important part of this technology transfer, or you can say the important component of this technology transfer, is a communication process. Because if your communication will not be firm, or if you cannot communicate whatever you want to communicate to that particular agency where you want to transfer your technology, your things will not be materialized. Because the process which you have developed, or the technology which you have developed, or any other thing or product you have developed, you have to communicate in a proper way. If your communication will not be proper, the person cannot take your things, or the company cannot take up your things, or your product will not come into the actual role where you want to establish that. So therefore, it is very important that you have to understand the communication process. So where to enter the catalytic process of technology transfer? Who can be the catalyst who can play an important role while you are thinking from the technology transfer perspective? Your universities, your research institutions, mainly on the level of basic and applied research, and who are the in the early stage development. Basically, what was happening while I was interacting with some of the industry people also, most of the time, those, if you talk or if you take an example of a pharmaceutical industry, previously it was academia, it was industry only who were thinking from this technology transfer perspective, because they were mainly focusing on the research and development part. They have their established unit, and they were involving so much that they were trying to develop a product. So their focus was there in that. But once it was coming to the university and research institution, they were not thinking from that perspective. Though they were talking about research, they were talking about basic research, they were talking about a lot of work. But my personal opinion is, if we really focusing on our PhD thesis or PhD research work, we 90% or 95% of the people think from the perspective of awarded degree. If we change this mindset, and if we think, yes, our research work should be like that, that it can be converted later on into a good product, or a product which can be substantial, which can do some help to the society. Because we take a problem statement and we work on that. But later on, when slowly and gradually we start working, we start and we try to make our mindset in such a way, okay, our degree should be awarded. But in the university system or in the research institution system, 90% we are not thinking from the highest attainment level, that is your research product or technology which can be transferred. Second catalytic process was, as I discussed you, is different companies, your entrepreneurial companies, any stage from research and development to the market. They were the whole soul responsible for the product development to launching it into the market. So if you see the flow chart of technology transfer in pharmaceutical industry, that can be from R&D lab to technology receiving site to feasibility study to scale up to exhibit batches to stability study to process validation to product batches, it means to commercialization. That is how this process flow of technology transfer in pharmaceutical industry was taking place. So our important part is here. We have to consolidate our product in R&D lab, and we can provide it into some company who can take away or take up our product onto the next level, and they can scale up our product, make all the studies and commercialize our product, which can benefit the society. If we really see the simplest process of technology transfer, from invention to invention disclosure to assessment to protection to market to licensing to financial return. When we start any process, we start any research, or we take a problem to make a research, in general, our thought process is, whatever bench work we are doing, we have to first make a good publication from that, a good cited publication from that. I am speaking very honestly. Whatever in general mindset, including me also, what we think. We take a statement while doing our PhD program or our postgraduate project also. In general, we take a statement, we take a problem and start working on that. And our ultimate aim is to get a good publication. Nowadays, we have come up one stage ahead of that. Okay, later on we will do the publication. Why don't we try for some patent also? And why we are doing this patent? We are doing this patent because some of the people have the pressure that we have to show in the different accreditation agencies or accreditation body. So the institute demands that we are not thinking from that perspective. Okay, we are doing a substantial research, and that substantial research should be protected. So for protection of our research, we have to file a patent, we have to grant a patent, and later on, if we get a good success, we will try our product, our research into the technology transfer, and later on onto a product. So we'll try from that perspective, but that never comes in our mindset because it requires a lot of patience, it requires a lot of energy, it requires a lot of efforts also. So sometimes we leave it in between because if you see this technology transfer process, invention is not easy. Invention is disclosure is also not easy because you have to, whatever you are investing, you want the returns also of that. So the process flow you can see in this particular slide. Lot of things you have to go. You have to go through assessment. You have to go through production. You have to grow through the marketing of that product also. You have to done the licensing also, and you want the financial returns also. So this is how you make your mind. But you can see a lot of steps are there in that. So you have to understand these steps. This you can get anywhere in the if you search this technology transfer process. If you can see this discovery starts from lead optimization, as we study in our postgraduate level also, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and launching of the product. But there the second step start, whatever R&D you are doing, that has to be gone to the technology transfer and ultimately to the product. So between R&D to product, the important component in between is technology transfer. So if you want to convey the technology transfer process or the whole mechanism, you can say it is a ladder between research and development and your ultimate product or ultimate attainment, that is your product. So whatever research you are carrying out and it is ultimately converted into a product, so in between there is a the pull or a ladder which is playing an important role, that is technology transfer, as you can abruptly see from this slide also. Now the second question which arises is why we are talking so much about technology transfer. What is the need for technology transfer? As I mentioned you earlier also, there are different prospects through for which we thought of technology transfer. It is not one-way process. There are a lot of perspective, as I told you. Not only you are gaining the financial gains, not only you are ultimately helping your society, but you are getting the same response through your recognition also while developing a product. And once your product will be ultimately developed through technology transfer, you will be definitely in a win-win situation. Obviously, whomsoever you are transferring your technology, that will also be in a win-win situation, but definitely you are also in a win-win situation. Because not only you are getting the finance, not only you are getting the things, but at the same time, many of us wants a good recognition. And this is one of the classical and best practice to get your recognition. What my personal perception says in common. So if you talk about this need for technology transfer, that is extending benefits to R&D and to society and materializing experimental scale research on a large scale for commercialization, that is developing and under development countries also. So there is a need for technology transfer. Yes, please. Anybody saying something? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. It was external disturbance, sir. Please
Oh,
continue.
no. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I understand this is a topic which had to be interacted with all of you while physically, but some responsibilities has been given to me. So please give me some more time. I will not take more than 15 minutes. I'll try to communicate with you. This is not something new which I am telling to you. I am just trying to sensitize you. I'm trying to pushing myself and yourself also. Come forward and let's do some better thing. Because what I feel is time is changing very fast. So we have to adapt the situations. Anyway, in this context, next step is varied roles. When we talk of this technology transfer, there are several, you know, several means or several bodies who are working on this technology transfer. Because whatever research you are carrying out, that has been transferred through by different means from idea to product. That can be your startup firms, that can be your R&D firms, that can be larger company, that can be universities, that can be research institute. At the level of, if you see this whole chart, whatever the idea generate, whatever the problem statement you are getting, you are going into the research, you are going to the development. So in research and development, startup firms can help you, R&D firms are helping you, universities are helping you by providing the platform, or research institutes are also providing and helping you to develop your research. So from idea to research to development, they are helping. When it comes into production or manufacturing or distribution, your larger companies are helping you out ultimately from idea to market. So there are varied roles which they are playing. If you see this technology transfer process in a very just way, from research to development to deployment, whatever research you are carrying out, whatever product or technology you are developing, ultimately through this technology transfer, you are deploying that to their ultimate goals. This is the purpose of this technology transfer. So when I interact with the people, when I interact with a lot of persons who are doing the initial research, what I found is that they are not thinking from the deployment perspective. They are thinking only their ultimate aim is to do the research. In fact, they are not thinking about the development process also. There may be several constraints also, but ultimate, if you think from the technology transfer purpose, the ultimate goal is deployment. If you see the constitution of technology transfer, if you really try to understand the constitution of technology transfer, that is on the 6P concept. How this 6P concept, you will agree with me, it comes from proper research to paperwork to pricing to publicity to partnership to people's acceptance. That is how this technology transfer fundamental moves around on the 6P concept. When you are thinking for the technology transfer, first you have to identify the problem, and then you have to make a proper research. If you are doing a proper research, your paperwork should be very consolidated. The documentation part should be very consolidated. Once you complete your proper research work and paperwork, you have to identify that what type of pricing I have to, you know, calculate, what investment you have done, what type of resources you have applied, and what was your ultimate expense on that, so that you can think from the technology transfer perspective to make your research way ahead. Then publicity will definitely important role, because you have to identify the partners, and for that you need some publicity. Like in an institution, we try to identify our thirst area of research. Why you identify, why you tell your uh, to the outer world that this is our thirst area of research, this is our departmental expertise, this is our departmental thirst area of research. Why you make it? Because you want to show that we have such category of experts, like we have expert on nanotechnology, or we have expert on design technology, or we have expert on this ms. So you try to tell them, or we have an expert on liposomes delivery. So you want to tell them, we have this department, we have an established department, we have very good researchers. So give us some problems. You will try to solve it out, or you will try to make some technology. So publicity is also very important when or while you are thinking from technology transfer perspective. Next is partnership. Definitely, it is very important. And the last thing is, whatever you are developing, that should be acceptable to the people also. It will be beneficial. Definitely, it will be accepted by all. So you have to make your research in such a way that it should be beneficial to your society, to the ultimate stakeholders who are using to avail this your research. If you see the disclosure of this technology transfer, that is through patenting, that is through agreement administration, and that is through licensing, and ultimately to the commercialization of the product. And the person who is developing, or person who is providing his technology, or the research which he has carried out, ultimately he is going to commercialize it, and through its commercialization he is going to get some royalty also. That is the reward which he is getting. But I must say here, not only he is getting the reward through royalty, the most important thing is he is getting a great recognition by the society, great recognition by the outer world, great recognition not only in your nation, but the persons who are going to avail your process or your product. They will appreciate you, and they will remember you for a long period of time. So ultimately you are getting a recognition also. We always remember our scientists for a long period of time, because our medicines have helped a lot, whosoever it is. Now, how this execution of technology transfer takes place, this I have discussed with some of the persons from industry, and they told me, so I get this slide. There are different steps for execution of this technology transfer. One is, as we know, we all do this small scale laboratory development, then we come to scale up batch, then we come to pilot scale, and ultimately to the production commercial scale. So at each and every step you have to optimize the things. You cannot say, you take my technology and go ahead. No, not at all. It is not an easy, it is not a joke. It's not easy as what we talk about. It is not so easy. At each and every step, the process has to be optimized. Sometime what I heard from our colleagues of industry also, they have gone to some plant. I just interacted with them. Why you have gone to plant? Sir, there was some batch problem which was coming. The execution was not there. We have taken a product through technology transfer, but ultimately we are not getting the commercialization of that product. So there are a lot of challenges also. So you have to troubleshoot all these challenges. So it is not so easy. So in general, if you talk about small scale laboratory development, it is a batch size of 5 to 2 kg. If you talk about scale up batches, that is 5 to 10 kg. If you talk about pilot scale, that is 20 to 100 kg. And you talk about production or commercial scale, that is batch size of 200 to 1000 kg. So batch size may vary in commercial scale depend on the availed capacity of equipment. If you see the phases of technology transfer, we we already always study this, that pre-clinical trials to clinical trials to post-approval process, how we see that. So regulation of research in public center, good practices, to the evaluation of technology, to the assessment of recovery technology and transfer of technology or creation of a company. So you have to go through different phases, whatever we are doing. But at the same time, we have different constraints in technology. Like we have financial constraints, we have technical constraints, we have some regulatory constraints also, we have distribution related to production constraints also, and sometimes you had a great high cost of development and being audited repeatedly. This is one of the biggest threat. Whatever you are developing, if some time takes while doing taking the processes and all, maybe your product may be outdated, or you will find that your cost was too much. So these constraints should not act as a barrier for transfer of technology from creator to observer. You have to take note of that, and you have to at the same time work on that also. That is how you will be successful. Otherwise, one or another hurdle will make a challenge for you. So there are some determinants of technology transfer, like ability of developing countries to absorb technology elsewhere and adapt it for own purpose, development of local firms through education, and R&D and development institution to facilitate technology transfer. Right now, we can see that NIPERs are working very hard for this different research perspective, and they are trying their level best to get some technology also. And I am very hopeful that near future they will be able to do that. Some of the IITs, they are working very hard on this medical devices. So then the time has come. We also took participate in the collaborative research also, so that we can ultimately get this technology transfer determinants. If you talk about aspects of technology transfer, there are different ways, like government labs to private sector, between private sector firms to the same country, between private sector firms of different countries, from academia to private sector firms, from academia to government to industrial collaboration. So there may be different perspective for that. Sometimes from private to private, private to government, academia to private. So being in the academia, we have to think from that perspective, that whatever the energy, whatever the resources we are utilizing, we can get a maximum output through this technology transfer. This is our aspect of thought process. So at the same time, not only we are getting the output of finance, but as I told you, we are at the same time we are getting different uh, ways of gains. So the next thing is forms in which technology may be transferred. It can be transferred via machinery or other intermediate goods. It can be transferred through the individual experts also. It can be transferred from one company to another company. So there are different ways of that. And transferring technology via competent expert has the advantage of cost saving. So whenever you are thinking from the technology transfer perspective, what in general we should do as a layman, I'm also trying the same thing. We should try to identify some expert who is expert in transferring the technology. The main advantage is that he can lead to you, he can guide you, he can help you, he can assist you, he can give you the right direction. So that the main advantage is that he can lead to you to a proper person who is the ultimate person who are searching, or the ultimate company which you are searching, and it may reduce your cost. It may be whatever you are thinking of or whatever you are demanding, but he will try to settle out the things. So always there is an expert who will definitely lead to you in a proper way and the ultimate way. So you should try to identify some person who is expert in transferring the technology. At the same time, this is a gray aspect. You can develop yourself if you are really interested that yes, I am an expert of technology transfer. So this is the area which I think now grooming, it's increasing, and a lot of demands are there because we are filing a lot of patent, we are getting a lot of granted patents. But the next phase we are not thinking, and we need an expert, and you can be that expert, and you can guide a lot of people, and that can be one of your core area, or you can get also benefit from that. So if you see the different kinds of technology transfer, that can be intramural, that can be extramural, that can be public or private. Intramural, within the walls of an institution or a company, transfer between two different functions within a company or institution. Extramural means outside the walls of an institution or a company, transfer between a company or institution to the rest of the world. Or public private transfer from publicly funded research to the private sector also. So there can be different kinds of technology transfer. There are another types of technology you can understand: vertical technology transfer and horizontal transfer of technology. Vertical means from R&D to full scale commercialization, and horizontal means from one commercial site to another commercial sites. That happens in different pharmaceutical industry also. They are making some product, they are making in one plant, and it has to be started in another plants. So they transfer that technology from one commercial site to another commercial site. So that is called your horizontal transfer of technology. As far as your vertical transfer technology, that can be from R&D place where you have developed in a small scale to the full scale commercialization. Now the another thing which comes is necessary conditions for successful technology transfer. Technology is transferred most effectively by direct people to people actions. So it is very important that it should be chain wise. Another important thing is the technology transfer agent must be a well qualified person. If you are looking, and if you got that people, you should try to understand the capabilities of and qualification of that person and the experience behind that. If you really try to make your technology really transfer in a fruitful way and able to communicate effectively to people who are capable of receiving applying the technology. So this is very important conditions if you really want to make your a successful technology transfer. In addition to transfer agent, capable recipients like facilitator or middlemen are needed. Sometimes users and transfer agents should be involved in choosing, planning, and implementation. And all parties involved must feel that they are winners and must in fact be winners. It should not be like that the one person should feel that he is winner. No, both are winners. So they should feel like a winner. Whomsoever who is giving the technology and whomsoever who is getting the technology. Both should feel the same thing. Now comes to the technology transfer in pharmaceutical industry. Main of that pharmaceutical industry is to reduce cost of drug discovery and development. Possible solutions. For example, VOCAD in India way back has focused on integrating and facilitating technology transfer in the field of biotechnology. They have worked a lot. While I was also studying, At that time, also, Vocard was doing a lot of technology transfer in the field of biotechnology. Hence, innovation and R&D are the major contributors to technology transfer as far as pharmaceutical industry is concerned. These are the main, you know, wings through which we can lead to a successful technology transfer in pharmaceutical industry. As far as Indian scenario of pharmaceutical industry is concerned, earlier the transfer was relatively less. As we can see, earlier nobody was thinking in the academia for technology transfer. But nowadays, a lot of good researchers and good academicians, they are thinking from that perspective of technology transfer. Because you can see for the last 5 years, I can feel it, lot of patents have been filed, lot of patents have been granted, but still there is a need of good substantiality and transfer of these research into the technology. Then really our purpose will be resolved. So the recent trends followed for technology transfer in India and Indian pharma organization is in the investment in R&D and patents. Our Indian Patent Act 1970 helped these pharmaceutical companies to develop their technology aspects. Like I have taken some examples. Lilly plus Ranbaxy way back, they got this Cefaclor through technology transfer. This Lyrica from Pfizer. So that was a basically pregabalin, better known as Lyrica, is a drug developed to treat epilepsy and anxiety, was found to be a potent treatment for neuropathic pain associated with diabetic peripheral neuropathy, neuralgia, and spinal cord injury. It was first approved by FDA for the treatment of fibromyalgia. Later on, it was converted into this epilepsy and anxiety cases. And few of us known this Lyrica product was developed by a Northern Western University chemistry professor, Mr. Richard Silverman, and one of his visiting colleague, Rysard Ottersky. So they developed that product, and later on, inventor received a grant of $687,764 to grant it, and Pfizer later on developed this. So that is how the technology transfer can do wonders. This is Bayer plus Ranbaxy. They make a product of this ciprofloxacin 750 mg tablets. Now, if you see and closely go into the factors which are involved in technology transfer, so you can see on the left side and the right side. In the left side, you can see the viable market, the political stability, the economy, and the IPR. These can be one of the important factors which can be there for technology transfer. At the same time, at the right side, you can see the development priorities, the regulations, the skilled workers, and enforcement. These are also important factors. So overall, these all factors makes the technology transfer possible. So you have to take all these factors into consideration whenever you are thinking from the technology transfer perspective. You should have a viable market. You should have the political stability of that country. You should have a good economy of that country. You should have a consolidated IPR. Your product should be protected well. You should have a development priorities whenever you are thinking about technology transfer. You should know the regulations of that country or the particular area where you are going to make your technology transfer successful. You should get a skilled manpower because your technology is going to transfer, so it should be successful, and you should have a great enforcement for that. So overall, all these factors makes your technology transfer successful. There are several methods through which you can achieve know-how delivery, contract research and development, establishing joint ventures, setting up plants, establishing production process, quality control, licensing patents, design and other forms of IPR. So this is how the things done, licensing in and licensing out. I will not focus on that much. Examples of licensing industries like in licensing for nodal durability NDDS, validated generics, branded generics and generics, out licensing for urology, respiratory anti-infectives. Some examples of technology transfer like Bhava Atomic Research, develop and transfer about 19 technology in the area of environmental and health research, electronics, electrical, mechanical, chemical and metallurgy, radioisotopes and application. National Chemical Laboratory has several linkages with the university and pharmaceutical industry to ensure successful scale up, seamless technology transfer and implementation of technology. DVT, they are also doing great job in technology transfer. They are providing the assistance also in the area of plant tech, biotechnology. Technology for teak is successfully transferred to International Plant Laboratory UK. The transfer includes know how and training. DVT claims this is the first reverse transfer of tissue culture technology from developing country to a developed country. This is a great success. Micro propagation technology parks established by DVT has successfully transferred the technology of three species, eucalyptus, populus, and sugarcane to Cadila Pharmaceutical, Ahmedabad. CIPLA has technology transfer agreement with companies in Uganda, Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, and Algeria. Shanta Biotech has entered into technology transfer agreement for typhoid vaccine with IBI Korea. Eli Lilly has entered in technology transfer with Shashun Chemicals and Drugs. So there are a lot of companies who are working on this technology transfer as far as pharmaceutical industries are concerned. Now, what is the role of technology transfer in academia? If we see the perspective of this academia transfer technology, which is generally understood to refer to the commercialization of university research result and is defined in this paper as the transfer of university owned of IPR to industry for commercial application and public benefits. When can an academic institution progress towards transfer technology? You have to consolidate your research. You have to understand the process flow. So university may possess some research with commercial potential, but not sufficient volume to create a dedicated commercialization service. But time is coming very fast that you have to establish such things. We have already started to establish IPR cells in our institutions or industry. This is one of the great steps we are looking forward. So slowly and slowly, we have to think from the technology transfer perspective to develop a product from our institution. How can an academic institution progress towards transfer technology, or what are the requirements to progress towards transfer technology? So there can be 2-3 ways where we can think in this direction. One is your mission statement. Another one is to understand the proper policy and procedures. And third one is establishment technology licensing office. So mission statement, clear and well understood, should be brief and establishing and consistent. You have to understand the policies and procedure which should be transparent and clearly defined. And another thing is technology licensing office TLA. So you have to understand the office licensing to the outer offices, external offices, or external organizations. So you have to understand all these things also when an academic institution is trying to establish the technology transfer. This is how the trading zone, which has been shown in this figure, participants from university, academia, theory, innocent, to the participant from industry. So university to knowledge of academia exchange to the industry. This is how the university and industries are collaborating with each other. And we always emphasizes, we always talk about industry institute interaction. So if it will be in a better tight situation or tight compartment, definitely your chances to get a knowledge, your chances to transforming your research into technology transfer will be more. This is a framework which has been provided from the Osaka University. Process of academic technology transfer, identifying innovation with potential commercial value, evaluating disclosures of inventions, protect intellectual property rights, transferring university innovation to corporate sector, negotiating licensing agreements. These are some of the, this is very important slide from all our perspective, whomsoever who are trying to, thinking in this manner or in this phase or in this particular area. List of institutes in India who are assisting in tech transfer, who are the experts who are in technology transfer. One is Asia Pacific Center for Technology Transfer, Technology Bureau of Small Enterprises, National Research and Development Corporation and NRDC, Knowledge Transfer Organization, Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer, Technology Information Forecasting Assessment Council, that is TIFAC, and Biotech Consortium India Limited, BCIL, which is promoted by DBT. So these all institutions are helping if you are interested in technology transfer. This is the sum of the emblems I have put it. So now come to an end of my sharing of thoughts with you all for this technology transfer. Economically easy availability of technology and the scenario of creating a win-win situation for industry, academia, and government by their inter-collaboration is the ultimate goal for implementing of technology transfer. And when focusing on an academic perspective, basic valuable research should not be confined to a book, a publication, or patent alone, but rather move ahead to a technology transfer, which I was talking in the initial words in a raw language. We should not think our research from the perspective of publication or a patent, but we should think beyond that. So this is how the technology transfer can be 3P evaluated in TT: plan, process, and personal. An action of transfer of information of technology to product realization. So one is donor side and one is receptor side. Donor side is R&D or knowledge center, and receptor side is your drug manufacturing side who are going to commercialize that. So if you try to understand this technology transfer from research bench to tech transfer office to pharma company or biotech company to some great organization, and ultimately your stakeholders are getting the benefit of that. If you see this technology or research, so you can understand it in a better way. If you are talking about research, if you are talking about technology transfer, the important thing what I believe in education system is quality. Until unless you will not focus on quality, from academia you cannot get the technology transfer. So pillars and foundation of quality, as I always discuss in my most of the presentations: ethics, practice, and science. These are the foundations on which your quality lies: ethics, practice, and science. And these are the pillars: context, structure, process, outcome, and impact. That is how you get the quality. And once you will get the quality, so component of competency to be addressed in education is ethics, that is based for attitude and values; practice, based for experience; and science, based for knowledge. That is how your competency develop. And if your competency will develop, they will go into the quality. And if you will go into the quality, definitely you will get the ultimate outcome of your research, that is your ultimate product through technology transfer. So quality, you cannot compromise if you really want that. So collaboration is also important in this context. You try to make good collaboration in that to get the better outcome. Collaboration is important not just because it is a better way to learn. The spirit of collaboration is penetrating every institution and all our lives. So learning to collaborate is a part of equipping yourself for effectiveness, problem solving, innovations, and lifelong learning in an ever-changing network economy. Always we heard we cannot work in silo. We have to collaborate ourselves. Albert Einstein told a very good word: education is not the learning of facts, but the training of minds. So you have to critically think, you have to collaborate, you have to create, you have to communicate, you have the greatest choices, and that is how you make the care. I just want to show you one video. Just a minute. I just want to show you one video.
Universities, hospitals, and research centers conduct a lot of research that generates groundbreaking inventions that not only save lives, but improve the way we live, work, and play on a daily basis. Technology transfer plays a central role in bringing these ideas from the lab to the market. Hi, I'm Jane York, a technology transfer professional and a member of the Association of University Technology Managers, or AUTM. We're the people who work to transfer the discoveries developed at universities and research centers to companies that can
The video is
turn
not visible.
and services.
Sir, video is visible or not?
No, no, the video is not visible.
Okay, just I show you. Just a minute. Just
Please use the share screen.
yeah. Just
That benefit society. Universities.
is it visible now, sir? Sir, is it
visible now?
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hospitals and research centers conduct a lot of research that generates groundbreaking inventions that not only save lives, but improve the way we live, work, and play on a daily basis. Technology transfer plays a central role in bringing these ideas from the lab to the market. Hi, I'm Jane York, a technology transfer professional and a member of the Association of University Technology Managers, or AUTM. We're the people who work to transfer the discoveries developed at universities and research centers to companies that can turn them into products and services that benefit society. This process is called technology transfer. Government and private organizations provide funding that supports critical research from which new discoveries are created. Technology transfer professionals work to protect these discoveries and create partnerships to help these discoveries become new products. This sounds simple, but there are many steps involved in taking an idea and turning it into a product. There are many challenges. Some ideas make it, some don't. Sometimes an idea is transferred to an existing company, and sometimes it inspires the creation of a brand new company. These companies turn these ideas into products that have a huge impact on improving lives, creating jobs, and supporting new research discoveries.
So this is how the technology transfer move ahead with one platform to another platform. So at the end, I would conclude my discussion with you all. We are into the academics, so I always read one very good sloka in Sanskrit: Annam danam param danam vidya danam ataparam annen chadka traptim yavajyam vidya. Providing food to poor and needy person is the best charitable deed, but making people learn by teaching them is the supreme form of charity. Food gives momentary satisfaction, but the knowledge dissemination will empower them to lead to a satisfactory life. So, thank you very much for your patient listening. And I hope while we are in the academics, we can motivate our students, we can motivate ourselves, whatever our basic instinct allow us, the facilities which allows us, we should go and think beyond what we can do. So at the same time, both are benefited. Our society will be benefited, and we are also benefited. So I hope you will try to sensitize this technology transfer to others also. I must tell you here, I got one patent grant in 6 months before, but still I am searching for a person who can guide me to a technology transfer. So that is how I think I should share with you all that how in near future this technology transfer will play an important role. Thank you very much, Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy, for providing this opportunity to interact with all my fellow colleagues of academic. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. thank you for sharing valuable insights on technology transfer and highlighting the problem that is happening in India today. That is, we are doing a lot of research in the academic institutions, but it is not converted to a valuable research or a valuable product in the market. So these themes actually keep on bugging me also. So how to convert this into a product, how to convert this into a service or something. So even I'm starting the same thing to publish a paper or to publish a patent, something. So I'm also thinking in that way. So thank you for sharing your valuable insights. So how a technology transfer office can actually be useful in converting this one, sir. So we'll try to actually implement this technology transfer office in our institution so that students and staff can be benefited. So your advice is very, very valuable for us, sir. Uh, so the session is open to all the participants. So you can interact with sir, or you can ask the questions. Or you can post your questions in the chat box also. Sir, my own question actually.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of formulation research work,
Okay.
uh, uh, developing co-crystals for the pore soluble APIs and all, and developing novel nano-based formulations and all. Still, I'm going for the actual publications only. So recently we have published several works in biomedicines and all. So I'm thinking of that. So what is the use at this level? So this is helping me academically and all. But how to convert this one into an actual product?
Sir, actually, you are an expert of formulation, definitely. But I think sometimes we have to talk to the people who are really involved in pharmaceutical industry from the formulation perspective. So first we can, at initial level, we can understand that what exactly the industry is doing. Because as you know, there are two types of market. One is generic market. Some of the people are working on generic market, and some of the people are working for international market. So what is the need in generic market for formulation? What is the need, or what is the focus area of that generic market, and what is the focus area of international market? So while discussing with them, you can understand what the industry is demanding right now. What are the phases through which they are going on? What are the patents which are going to expire? So they need some products, or they need some new technology for that particular purpose. So while interacting with them, definitely you will get an overview. So this will be the first phase. Second phase is, if you identify that problem, or if you identify that particular stage, okay, this is the formulation, my expertise is there, I should develop it. And once you develop, then in second phase, you can interact with them, no problem. So they can guide you, okay, you do this, and then come for the technology transfer process. And as I told you, we should try to find out some expert who is good in, and who has the experience of this technology transfer process, so they can guide you in a better way. Because we are doing something in academics, but as a, and important, another important thing is collaboration plays an important role in that. If you are having good collaborator, maybe they have some expertise, you have some expertise. So I was also reading a national education policy, they were also focusing on collaborations. So that is how I understand, okay, they are, because they are saying collaboration, because two three collaborators from different expertise, they can make a good product, or they can make in a, you know, the particular move where they should go. So this is how the collaboration will help. So this, I think, this is how you can, move ahead. Because honestly speaking, I always feel we are working only for the publication, or we are working for the patent. And why? Because we have a huge pressure, we have to get this. But we are not going from that perspective. If you see the foreign universities, they are taking the projects from pharmaceutical industry. They are taking the projects from. I know one of my friend who is in New Zealand. He, while is doing his PhD and PDF, he got some good patents and technology transfer on this mm, some these derivatives of microbial floras. They are focusing basically on uh, the intestinal floras. So New Zealand has a great focus on that because they have great this dairy industry. So they got some very good products through collaboration only. So they got one project from Pfizer also. Pfizer or Byers, I think. Byers, they got some project. So that is how I think we should move ahead, and we should change our thinking thought process as well as our approach also. Then we will definitely successful, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So definitely I will interact with the industry people and I will try to
Yes.
get some products into the
If
market.
you need any help, I can provide you some context. And the list which I was providing, DBT and some other organizations, they are also helping it out. They have some different schemes. I think they are providing some mentors also for the same. So you can talk to them also.
Please, sir, please share them.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, any questions? The feedback form has been given in the chat box. So kindly fill in the feedback.
This topic is a little bit complicated, so I don't know how I could, reach out to you people all, because I was not telling you anything new,
Yes,
because
sir,
there is
as a pharmaceutical
specified
person,
process.
I clearly understand this topic. So participants, the session will start tomorrow at 11 a.m. Please note, the session will start tomorrow at 11 a.m. Sir, with your permission, I would like to propose a vote of thanks.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you, Verma sir, and Principal sir, and all other faculty members for providing this great platform and the opportunity to talk with you all. I really always, feel very excited and really feel good to interact with all of you, because I got something from you also. Thank you so much.
So good afternoon, all of you. So thank you for being a part of the FDP program. So I would like to propose my vote of thanks to Dr. Neeraj Upamanyu for sparing his valuable time out of his busy schedule for enlightening the faculty members. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for providing your valuable insights. So your guidance will obviously help our budding pharmacists as well as the senior research professionals and faculty members working in the various organizations. So these sort of platforms will help in developing the various collaborative research works and all. So thank you for providing support, sir. So with this one, I would like to close this session. The participant, so participants, please note that the session will start tomorrow at 11 a.m. So I'm ending the meeting for all. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Neeraj, sir.
Thank you, sir. We will meet sometime physically, and
Sure, sir. Sure.
we will have an exchange. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So may I leave, sir?
Yes, sir.